Things are being thrown. There's no room for this in the sport. There's no room for Davis brothers to be in the building tonight. The police escorted them out. You saw a stroller being moved.
His jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting.
The hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch.
Tensions flared backstage as GervontaDavis and Lamont Roach came face to face ahead of their heated rematch. While Davis tried to get under his skin with words, Roach stayed cool and composed, refusing to engage. Focused solely on the fight, Roach believes his performance in the ring will do the talking, and he's confident he'll leave with the win.
The outside critics, I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out and give it my all and perform, and most likely, 9 times out of 10 when I do that, I'll be victorious.
Lamont Roach has confidently shrugged off the idea that GervontaDavis is the hardest puncher he's ever faced. According to Roach, he's taken bigger shots in previous fights, and Davis's power doesn't faze him. His composed demeanor shows a mindset rooted in experience and resilience, making it clear that he won't be rattled by reputation alone.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lied to you that. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He hard him.
In their first encounter, a brief lapse from GervontaDavis saw him take a knee, an unexpected moment that sparked chaos and shifted public perception. Lamont Roach's performance during that sequence elevated his profile, positioning him as the first to truly push Davis to the edge. Since then, the narrative has gained traction. Roach isn't just a challenger, he's a legitimate threat. And with the rematch looming, many now believe he could take full control this time around.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He got a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same GervontaDavis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he said, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same shit. When I fought Andre, that shit burning my eye, so I cut that shit off.
Recent footage of GervontaDavis shows a fighter reborn, physically sharper and mentally locked in. His enhanced strength, combined with a bold online message, signals that he's not just training harder, he's preparing to dominate. With this renewed focus, Davis has reignited excitement among his supporters, many of whom now anticipate a devastating comeback in the ring. Roy Jones Jr. recently praised GervontaDavis's explosive fighting style, emphasizing his rare blend of power and precision. While acknowledging the rematch carries a level of unpredictability, Jones expressed strong confidence in Davis's ability to take control. He believes Tank's commanding ring presence will prove overwhelming and expects him to reassert his dominance once again.
Saturday night, GervontaDavis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, I was expecting Gervonta just to continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out part of Roach, but we kind of haven't seen him a lot. So he gets to show people where he is too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers and amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first 2 rounds. Or then when the pro round takes over, we'll find out has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet, or it takes 2 superiors as a pro. And that's where the difference will come in. If you got a good back foot game like that, you understand boxing like you understand it, he gonna make a draw for anybody. But Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. You can't just look at it and say, oh, he gonna win. Oh,
Many believe GervontaDavis wasn't at his best in the first fight, whether due to personal distractions or a miscalculated game plan. But with his pride now on the line, Davis seems fully committed to showing the world what he's truly capable of. His focused training and determined statements make it clear. This rematch isn't just about revenge. It's about reclaiming his dominance and silencing all doubt.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means, and that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it at Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
For Lamont Roach, the rematch is about more than just winning. It's about making a statement. He's not just aiming for victory. He wants the knockout. His intense, focused training reflects a fighter with something to prove. A dominant finish over GervontaDavis could redefine his career, elevate him to the sport's elite, and cement a legacy built on skill, grit, and unshakable determination.
That you sent him to retirement earlier.
My initial plan is to win, but every time I fight, I'm trying to knock somebody out. So, if that happens in the midst of it, that'd be a blessing. That'd be definitely something that I work for, because I work my ass off. But if he on his way out, well, why not kick his ass out? It does in a sense, but yeah, it do for sure. I ain't gonna lie, I like to prove people wrong, and I damn sure like to prove myself right. So it definitely gives me an incentive. And like I said before, I've been here before. Mm-hmm. The heck the fight, they had me duck. Right now, they really got me. They really got me.
Lamont Roach has openly expressed confidence in his preparation, stating that he possesses the full arsenal of skills needed for the fight. His tone isn't arrogant. It's grounded in hard work and focused training. Roach believes he's fully equipped to adapt to whatever GervontaDavis brings to the ring, and he's ready to prove it when the bell rings.
30 people, knocked out, 28 of them, right? What makes you different?
He probably could have answered that question. But it's the skill, the will. I got the whole package, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting there waiting to get hit by nobody, especially somebody that's supposed to be a power puncher. Mm-hmm. That's evidently a power puncher. Mm-hmm. I got too much.
Greg Hackett stressed that the stakes are sky high for both fighters, with no clear edge on either side. According to Hackett, this rematch will come down to absolute precision. Every move will matter. He specifically warned that for GervontaDavis, maintaining focus and discipline is critical. In a fight this close, there's zero room for error.
There's rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45 Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed. He possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge, just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they're very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that, and Lamont wasn't having it. And he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused GervontaDavis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking a knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused. Because if he's not the most focused, then he gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night. And you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for. And he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Who you picking to win?
Mikey Garcia offered a thoughtful take on the upcoming rematch, highlighting GervontaDavis' ability to adapt and grow from past experiences. However, Garcia made it clear that skill alone isn't enough. Without mental clarity, even the sharpest tactics can crumble. His message was blunt but honest. If Davis isn't mentally locked in, he might as well not step into the ring.
Hopefully, I think Tank wins in the rematch. Why? I think he'll make the right adjustments and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and then he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and the performance. Fuck, I'm surprised everybody. Right. I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown. Right. But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows? Maybe it turns the market back out. Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back. Right. And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. I mean, if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're, but it seems like a lot of fighters if you're going through stuff and they get in. If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it. Fuck, let him do it. I don't know.
Kenny Ellis recognized Lamont Roach's undeniable work ethic, but warned against putting too much stock in training footage. According to Ellis, the real test comes when a fighter is under fire, when the punches land and exhaustion kicks in. In his eyes, it's Davis's grit, heart, and willpower that truly count, not just the drills practiced in the gym.
It'd be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back. And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight, shit, he'll get a third fight. You know?
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that?
In the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're,
but it seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it. Fuck, let him do it. I don't know, dude. I have personal stuff. A lot of fighters have issues. It's life, bro. This is our job, but their life keeps going. Life
you have to juggle this with life.
You have to juggle. You have to balance, and it's tough, bro. It ain't easy. It ain't easy at all. You gotta be dealing with family, with kids, with wives, with girlfriends.
That I always see that seems.
A second loss could deliver a serious blow to GervontaDavis' career and reputation. While a single defeat might be written off as a bad night, back-to-back losses, especially in a high-stakes rematch, would raise lasting questions about his standing among boxing's elite. Fans and analysts alike may begin to doubt whether Davis truly belongs at the top. His image, pride, and future opportunities are all at risk. For Davis, this rematch isn't just about redemption. It's about protecting his legacy. He must deliver a dominant, decisive performance to silence the critics and prove he's still one of the sport's very best.
Does the rematch happen or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the tournament on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. But they put up a good fight. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half. So what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one, and then for it to flip to the other, and it just had your mind like, what? Just really had your mind blown. Like, what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision on the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely went off of just their personal opinion of the person, their history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank, if I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. You know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's to flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. Now I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch.
Kenny Ellis has hinted at behind-the-scenes adjustments in GervontaDavis's camp that suggest fans will see a completely different version of Tank in the rematch. Though details remain tightly guarded, the secrecy has only fueled speculation and excitement. Whatever changes are being made behind closed doors, Davis's team is confident they'll make a major impact, turning this rematch into one of the most highly anticipated and talked about showdowns in boxing today.
What do you see?
Both of them, like I said, they both at top of the game. I see a competitive fight. Nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
Rolando Romero came to GervontaDavis's defense, reminding critics that even legends have off nights. He argued that one underwhelming performance shouldn't erase everything Davis has accomplished. In Romero's eyes, Davis remains one of boxing's biggest names, and still one of the most feared fighters in the sport today.
People want to discredit thing is he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night? Or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a night hanging here with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
Teofimo Lopez observed that following the first fight, GervontaDavis seemed isolated, with few supporters standing by him amid the backlash. This sudden abandonment, Lopez noted, fueled growing doubts about Davis's place among boxing's elite. Critics quickly questioned his skill, toughness, and resilience, painting him as exposed and vulnerable. Lopez emphasized that this rematch is far more than just another bout. It's Davis's chance to rewrite the narrative, reclaim respect, and reassert his dominance. With his reputation on the line, Davis must prove that one bad night doesn't define a champion's legacy in the unforgiving world of boxing.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you're winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw, look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter praised GervontaDavis for his high-level skill and sharp ring intelligence, emphasizing his impressive boxing IQ and raw power. Porter noted that Davis's ability to read opponents and adapt mid-fight sets him apart from many in the lightweight division. Despite the recent criticism, Porter firmly believes Davis remains a top-tier talent who commands respect. He warned that counting Davis out would be a mistake, as his past performances have consistently displayed flashes of brilliance. In Porter's view, Davis's unique combination of strategy and strength makes him a serious threat to anyone, and his impact on the division is far from over.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of what he just said, you can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it, you know, so.
GervontaDavis is locked in like never before, pushing himself to the limit to prove he still belongs at the top of the sport. His training sessions are intense, blending raw power, speed, and refined strategy, all aimed at correcting the mistakes from the first fight. But Davis isn't just looking for a win. He's out to dominate and erase any doubt. He understands that every moment in camp is shaping the world's perception of him. With each round, he's fueled by the hunger to rise above the criticism, outclass his opponent, and remind everyone why he remains one of the most dangerous and skilled fighters in boxing today.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident, because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he gonna go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he gets you on that button, them lights going off. I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that let's go fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's going to get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. Confident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont, this from the same camp, we from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you gotta think, Tank not used to losing.
That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. And until next time, keep it locked for more fight updates, behind the scenes drama, and everything boxing. Oncoming Fist Boxing Love.